did it. We're back. What's up, Meg?
Hey.
Happy day of recording. And happy end of the Olympics, everybody. Hopefully you guys have checked out the closing ceremony. We actually paused it so we could come in and record this. There was people coming down from the ceilings. It was getting pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Cha-cha. That's how you celebrate a closing ceremony in the Olympics. But either way, the voice you're hearing is me. It's Matt. Sometimes I'm called Beard Loss, but you don't care. In the Your Town world, I am Matt, and joining me as always is the beautiful, gorgeous, amazing, lucky to be next to me, Meg. What's going on, Meg?
Little sunburnt.
Little sunburn. We did some pickleballing. I don't know if you guys are into pickleball. Let us know. There's a meme going around that gets us laughing, where it's like, this is what we think we look like in pickleball, but this is what we probably really do. And I think we're towards the end of the other one. But we got talking that there's a lot of elderly women that are into pickleball, and some people think that they can beat us. And I'm going to tell you right now, I challenge any of you elderly women to a game of pickleball in exchange for a YouTube subscription. If you don't know what the YouTube is, I'm sure you have a smartphone. Everybody does. I'll show you elderly women of the internet. But either way, we got another episode. And last week we did a nice little creepy episode. And not to give any spoilers, but the one after today is going to be a pretty good one. And I'm excited about it. And I even maybe bought a book about it. So this one just kind of was sitting there one day and stumbled upon an Instagram story that led me down to this. And I said, this is the story we're doing. And it's the Deadwood legend of Wild Bill Hickok. And I'm super excited about this one. He, was a folk hero. He's an American Old West soldier. He was a lawman, a cattle rustler, a gunslinger, a gambler, a showman, an actor, and an inspiration for beef jerky. I don't know about the beef jerky part, but I'm pretty sure the rest is true. So buckle up, because this tale is packed with intrigue, drama, and a bit of myth making. What do you think? Should we do the intro and get into this?
Let's do it.
And if you hear a little bit of some rain in the background, we actually left the studio doors open because I forgot to put the AC on. And I thought I'd give it a nice little, ambiance, or is that the right word?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're also thinking about adding potential sound effects to the episode. So if that is something that you think we should do, please let us know in the comments. If you want us to say no, just do the talking. Also, let us know that. Should we do the intro?
Mm.
All right, here we go. Right after I tell you, hey, you guys should go to Brio for Life. Use code BeardLaws. Go to Copper John's Beard. There's some really good ball wash out there, fellas. Go to theballwash.com, thebestbeardproducts.com. And if you're looking for some bling, I know that they're looking at this bling. All right, I got this. I got the fancy watch, and I got the bracelet that Meg is gonna steal. But if you want to look as cool as me, they have silver, gold, and black. Make sure you go to rascal.com, RASKLL.com. Check it out. It's old school vibes with telling you the time. What do you like? You like it?
I do like it.
It's pretty cool. It's my go-to watch. And if we're twinsies and you get the watch, or all three of them in a fancy case like this for all the YouTubers, make sure you send me a picture of it, and I'll put it on the Instagram story.
Kind of has a 90s vibe to it.
I'm loving it. I wish I had a 90s vibe. This story before the 90s. So we're going to do the intro, take a sip of our beverage, and get into this episode. You ready, Meg?
Ready.
Let's do it. We're back. We did it. So let's kick things off. Let's explore the early years of Wild Bill. James Butler Hickok was his name, other than Wild Bill. He was born May 27th, 1837 in Homer, Illinois. Present day Troy Grove, Illinois, to William Alonzo Hickok, a farmer and an abolitionist, and his wife, Pamela. They were of English descent, and James was was the fourth of six children. A lot of that fourth of six caused some trouble, I think. A lot of the episodes we do. His father was said to have used the family house, which was now demolished, as a station on the Underground Railroad. His early life, though, was anything but dull. He was a good shot from a young age as a marksman with a pistol. He was raised during a time when lawlessness and vigilante activity were high because of the banditti of the prairie, which was a group of loose-knit outlaw gangs. Have you ever heard of that?
I have.
You have?
I have.
Ooh, so
A little bit.
I was going to say, I clicked because I was doing some research on Wikipedia, and when I was going through it, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I did the click, and I was reading about them. Holy cow.
Mhm.
Wild, huh?
My dad and grandfather were both pretty into the West
And being
and history. So,
history, yeah. So, yeah, you definitely got that. So, young James had quite the adventurous streak, to say the least, before becoming a legendary figure of the Wild West. In 1855, at just age 18, old James fled Illinois following a fight with Charles Hudson. During this fight, both fell into a canal. Each thought that they killed the other one. So he moves to Leavenworth in the Kansas Territory, where he joined Jim Lane's Free State Army, also known as the Jayhawkers. Probably where Kansas, the college basketball team came up with the name potentially. They were an anti-slavery vigilante group active in the new territory during the Bleeding Kansas era. While a Jayhawker, he met a 12-year-old William Cody, can't trust a man with two first names, later known as Buffalo Bill, Meg.
Ooh.
We're just talking sports here, apparently. And who, despite his youth, Buffalo Bill actually served as a scout just 2 years later for the U.S. Army during the Utah War. In 1857, old Wild Bill claimed a 160-acre tract in Johnson County, Kansas, near present-day Lenexa. On March 22nd, 1858, he was elected one of the first 4 constables of the Monticello Township. In 1859, he joins the Russell, Majors, and Waddell Freight Company, the parent company of the Pony Express. Isn't this awesome? I mean, there is just so much history, and we haven't even gotten into the crazy life of old Wild Bill. I don't know why. I'm going to kind of say it like that. I do apologize in advance.
Can't help yourself.
So in 1860, old James was badly injured by a bear mag while he was driving a freight team from Independence, Missouri to Santa Fe, New Mexico. According to his account, he found the road blocked by a cinnamon bear and its 2 cubs. I didn't know what a cinnamon bear was, do you?
No.
It's like I'm going off memory, so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. And if you're yelling at the dashboard because I'm wrong, it was like a kind of before the brown and black bears, it was like another kind of bear. They looked at it, it was in cinnamon style color. Wasn't quite as big, but they're still pretty big, and they're very, right. I mean, it's a mama bear. Mm-hmm. That's what my memory said. It's probably wrong. And if I made it up, that was the inspiration too for the cinnamon donuts I heard. Could have maybe
cinnamon Teddy Grahams.
Cinnamon Teddy Grahams as well. Dismounting, he approaches the bear and fired a shot into the bear's head, but the bullet ricochets off its skull, which really made Mama Bear mad. The bear attacks, crushing James with its body. He manages to fire another shot, wounding the bear's paw. The bear then grabs his arm in its mouth, but James was able to grab his knife, slash the throat of the bear, killing it.
What a grapple.
That's a wild day.
Is that the word?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, especially when you get a couple of shots in, and this old cinnamon bear says, I'm going to deflect it with my skull. So obviously he's severely injured. He has a crushed chest, shoulder, and arm. He was bedridden for 4 months before being sent to Rock Creek Station in Nebraska Territory to work as a stable hand while he recovered. There, the freight company had built a stagecoach stop along the Oregon Trail near Fairbury, Nebraska, on land purchased from David McCandless. McCandless? Let's go with McCandless. Yeah, let's do that one. On July 12th, 1861, David McCandless went to the Rock Creek Station office to demand an overdue property payment from Horace Wellman, the station manager. He reportedly threatened Wellman, and either Wellman or James, who was hiding behind a curtain, kills him. And then another employee is killed. J.W. Brink was actually tried for the killing of McCandless, but was found to have acted in self-defense. These may have been the first man that actually Wild Bill killed. May have been. Got through the creek, done this, all right? So James subsequently visited McCandless's widow, apologized for the killing, and offered her $35 in restitution, all the money that he actually had at him at the time. Mm-hmm. So then after the Civil War breaks out, you might have heard of the Civil War. This is in April 1861. Wild Bill became a teamster for the Union Army in Sedalia, Missouri. By the end of 1861, He was a wagon master, but in September 1862, he was discharged for unknown reasons. I tried to look up these unknown reasons. I got nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. He then joins General James Henry Lane's Kansas Brigade, and while serving with the brigade, saw his old friend Buffalo Bill, also known as Cody, who was serving as a scout. Let's jump to late 1863, where he actually worked for a provost marshal of the Southwest Missouri as a member of the Springfield Detective Police. His work included identifying and counting the number of troops in uniform who were drinking while on duty, verifying hotel liquor licenses, and tracking down individuals who owed money to the cash-strapped Union Army. Buffalo Bill then claimed that he encountered James disguised as a Confederate officer in Missouri in 1864, and James had not been paid for some time and was hired as a scout by General John Sanborn by early 1865. So then let's fast forward to June. He mustered out and went to Springfield, where he decides to gamble. The 1883 history of Greene County, Missouri described him as by nature a ruffian, a drunken, swaggering fellow who delighted when on a spree to frighten nervous men and timid women. Wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just ramping up. So he's in Springfield. All right. Him and a local gambler named Davis Tutt had several disagreements over unpaid gambling debts and their common affection for the same woman. So James lost a gold watch to Tutt in a poker game. The watch had great sentimental value to him, so he asked him, Tutt, not to wear it in public. They initially agreed not to fight over the watch, but when James saw Tutt wearing it, he warned him to stay away. On July 1865, the two men faced off in Springfield's town square, standing sideways before drawing and firing their weapons. Their quick-draw duel was recorded as the first of its kind. Tutt's shot missed, but James struck Tutt through the heart from 75 yards away. Tutt called out, "Boys, I'm killed!" right before he collapsed and died. The first duel.
The voice was good.
Thank you. Sounded. I would have to imagine it sounded just like him, right?
Uh-huh.
2 days later, James is arrested for murder. The charge was later reduced to manslaughter. He was released on a $2,000 bail and stood trial on August 3rd, 1865. At the end of the trial, Judge Boyd told the jury they could not find that James acted in self-defense if he could have reasonably avoided the fight. However, if they felt that the threat of danger was real and imminent, he instructed that they could apply unwritten law of the fair fight and be acquitted. The jury votes to clear him, resulting in public backlash and criticism of the verdict. He kills a man, gets away with it. July 1869. It was the summer of 69. James returned to Hays and was elected city marshal and sheriff of Ellis County, Kansas, in a special election held on August 23rd, 1869. So then September of the same year, his first month as sheriff, guess what he does, Meg? He kills two men.
Dun, dun, dun.
The first, Bill Mulvey, who was just galloping through town. He was on a rampage, drunk, shooting out mirrors and whiskey bottles behind bars. Citizens warned him to behave because guess what? Wild Bill's now the sheriff. Mulvey angrily declared that he wanted to come to town to kill him. When he saw him, he leveled his cocked rifle at him. James waved his hand past Mulvey at some supposed onlookers and yelled, "Don't shoot him in the back, he's drunk." Mulvey wheeled his horse around to face those who might shoot him from behind, and before he realized he had been fooled, James shot him right through the temple. The old, "Hey, look over there."
Tricky.
Right? So, he then kills a second man. We already talked about that. And that man was Samuel Strong, a cowboy who was causing a disturbance in a saloon at 1 a.m. on September 27th, when the two of them decided, hey, let's go to the scene. He made remarks against old James, which, hey, you probably shouldn't, and James killed him with a shot through the head. James said he had tried to restore order, and at the coroner's inquest into the death of this man, despite very contradictory evidence from witnesses, guess what, Meg? They find the shooting was justifiable.
Of course.
Yeah. So he's just continually killing people. Let's fast forward to July 17th, 1870. Guess what? James was attacked by two troopers from the 7th U.S. Cavalry, Jeremiah Longren and John Kyle, in a saloon. Longren pinned James to the ground, and Kyle put his gun to his ear. When Kyle's weapon then misfires, James shoots him, wounding him in the knee, and then he shoots Kyle, killing him. Just on probably on a rampage. You don't see this in Red Dead Redemption 1 or 2. April 15th, 1871, James became Marshal of Abilene, Kansas. He replaced Tom Bear River Smith, who had been killed while serving on an arrest warrant on November 2nd, 1870. So James and Phil Coe, a saloon owner, had a dispute that resulted in a shootout. The Bull's Head Saloon in Abilene had been established by gambler Ben Thompson and Coe, his partner, businessman, and fellow gambler. Two entrepreneurs had painted a picture of a bull with a large, erect male member on the side of their establishment as an advertisement. Citizens of the town complained to James, who requested that, they remove the image. They refused. So James altered it himself. Real mad. Thompson tried to incite John Wesley Hardin to actually kill James by exclaiming Hardin that he's a damn Yankee, picks on rebels, especially Texans. To kill Hardin was in town under his assured name, Wesley Clemens, but was better known to the townspeople by the alias Little Arkansas. He seemed to have respect for James' abilities and replied, "If Bill needs killing, why don't you just kill him yourself?" Hoping to intimidate James, Coe allegedly stated that he could kill a crow on the wing. You ever heard that saying before? Yeah, apparently that's what he said. So, James' retort is one of the West's most famous sayings. So, possibly, maybe not. Did the crow have a pistol? Was he shooting back? I will be. Now, that's a cowboy saying. On October 5th, 1871, James was standing off a crowd during the street brawl when Coe fired 2 shots. James ordered him to be arrested for firing a pistol within the city limits. Coe claimed that he was shooting a stray dog and then suddenly turned his gun on James, who fired first and kills him. After he kills Coe, James caught a glimpse of someone running toward him. So what did he do, Meg? He quickly fires 2 more shots in reaction, accidentally shooting and killing Abilene Special Deputy Marshal Mike Williams, who was coming to his aid. This was the last time James was ever involved in a gunfight because the accidental death of Deputy Williams actually haunted him for the remainder of his life. August 1st, 1876. James was playing poker at Nuttall and Mann Saloon, number 10 in Deadwood, Dakota Territory. When a seat opened up at the table, a drunk man named Jack McCall sat down to play. McCall lost heavily. James encouraged McCall to quit the game so he could, cover his losses, and actually offered to give him money for breakfast. Although McCall accepted the money, he was apparently insulted. So the next day, James was playing poker, right, Meg? And his usual seat, with his back to the wall so he could see everything and everybody walking through there, was taken. But the only seat was available that was a chair facing away from the door. He twice asked another man at the table, Charles Rich, to change seats with him, but Rich refused. McCall then enters the saloon, walks right up behind James, draws his Colt Model 1873 single action Army 45 caliber revolver, serial number 2079, as identified by William Macy, the riverboat captain, seated at the table, and shouted, "Damn you, take that," before shooting James in the back of the head at point-blank range. Wild Bill dies instantly. The bullet emerged through his right cheek and struck Macy in the left wrist. James may have told his friend Charlie Utter and others who were traveling with him that day that he thought he would actually be killed while he was in Deadwood. James was playing 5-card stud or 5-card draw when he was shot. He was actually holding a kind of a hand that is very, very famous. 2 pairs, black aces and black 8s. Although there is some dispute as to the suit of one of the aces, diamond versus spade, and his up cards, which has become widely known as the dead man's hand. The identity of the 5th card, his whole card, is also the subject of debate. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
He had a lot of crazy things, and those are just the things that were documented and told about. Imagine all the other stuff. It was the Wild West. So, obviously, there's no other way to wrap this episode up. It's crazy. We're getting a crazy storm as we're talking about the Wild West. So before we lose power, we really need to wrap this one up. We obviously covered the rise, the fall, the good, the bad of Wild Bill. His time in Deadwood. The name seems pretty fitting. And he is absolutely a legend, and he was involved with a lot of history and a lot of names that even people that don't follow history knew. And it's just crazy. To me, it's wild the fact that he had more lives than a cat. So before we get out of here, let's go with our sources. Wikipedia, Deadwood.com, legendsofamerica.com. We do have a little quote. You want to read the quote, Meg? It's an actual quote by Wild Bill.
Harness mules and oxen, but give a horse a chance to run.
Yeah.
Wild Bill.
Wild Bill. That's all we got. I think we should get out of here. Thanks everybody for another awesome episode. This is fun, and the next one is going to be wild. I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint. If you want to know what we're talking about, go watch Triple T, Time Traveling Trio, Time Traveling Tuesday, another show on the Beard Laws Studio. And there's an episode. Let's say the year. Should we say the year, or is that too much? Should we tell them?
Yeah.
1950. Go watch the 1950 episode, and there is a moment in there that there is an educational piece that the story is coming to you next week, as long as the book that has all the information arrives in the mail. And if it doesn't, we have some other stuff. All right, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right, thanks everybody. Go check out the friends of the show. We would greatly appreciate that as well. I forgot to mention one. It's coming up here. You were rocking this today. I was rocking this today. The Vermont Flannel. Make sure you guys go to vermontflannel.com. Use code BEARDLAWS24. Save yourself some money. That's all.
Great flannels.
Great flannels. That's all we got. So, all right. See you guys next week. Maybe we won't, but hopefully we do. And I'm going to go beat some elderly women in pickleball. That's all I got. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.